Views expressed by Casters Guild members are only the opinions of that member, and that could change from day to day. Guild members may use mature language, but that in no way means they are mature. Listener discretion is advised.
Vibranium shields and Dwarf Star forged hammers, mind control scepters and school lab web shooters, alloy metal armor that's made in a cave. These are a few of my favorite things. And while we're on the topic, which Chris do you think is hottest? Evans, Hemsworth, or Pratt? That's the spell we're casting tonight on Casters Guild.
Thank you for tuning in to Casters Guild. I am Guildmaster and Viscount Rick Perry.
I am just Baron Kane, Guildmaster.
And with us tonight is a brand new guild member. Feel free to introduce yourself.
I am King Ray Silvertongue. I outrank you, even though I don't.
Dang it!
You try, and they get you every time.
Every time.
So tonight we are talking about the Marvel Cinematic Universe. So let's start right out the gate with, what's your favorite MCU movie?
Oh, that's
Winter Soldier.
Oh, really, Ray? Is it?
I didn't say that I wasn't obvious.
Look, I'm just telling you right now, our listeners can't see you throwing your hands up in resignation, so...
Oh, I'm sorry. I throw my hands up in resignation.
So tell us a little bit about why you chose Winter Soldier.
Okay, so...
And be honest.
Remember when we were discussing the guild decrees and I stated that I was pretty sure I decided mine already?
Yeah?
It is because I will not accept anything besides this. The Winter Soldier is simultaneously the best and strongest and closely knit of all of that phase of Marvel movie, as well as I'm personally of the opinion it is the best political thriller that's come out in the last 25 years.
Wow. That's a strong opinion right there.
Also.
And our earliest guild decree.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. We should have probably not told him that, maybe...
No, you shouldn't have. You gave me way too much time to ruminate on it.
Yeah. But also, why is the Winter Soldier your favorite?
Well, I mean, it's really, it does feel to me like the tightest knit of all of it, very least that phase. I really felt like they covered all of the bases. It completely opened the MCU into what it could be now, because that was everything about Hydra. It's Bucky, and just gonna gloss right over that one. Brad was waiting for it.
So it does everything about Hydra, Bucky, and then it goes into the espionage, and what was that middle part there again?
No, go back.
Good times.
Also, it's the one that I saw the most in the theater. That gives it extra points for me, because I was willing to go and see it 11 times in the theater.
That seems like more of a, not necessarily what makes it good, but explains that you really, really like it.
No, really, he's held this opinion for a very, very long time. Also, it came out the day after I graduated, which was very exciting. Yeah.
I'm old.
It was a nice little special place in your memory.
Yeah.
So, Baron, your favorite MCU movie?
I probably am going to have to go with... I'm going to go with... Only because I don't want to choose the one, because it seems like cheating. I'm going to go with Spider-Man Homecoming.
Oh, nice pick.
It is.
And I know it is officially MCU, but I know it's also Sony, but I'm going with it. But ultimately, I think that the Infinity War movies were probably my favorite overall, because of the emotional investment that I've had in the entirety of the Marvel Cinematic Universe's timeline, it coming to a culmination like that. But just as a standalone movie, I think I'm going to go with Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm definitely going to have to go with Thor Ragnarok. I feel like up until that point in the MCU, they were trying to take Thor more seriously than a lot of the other characters, trying to make him more like his comic counterpart. And when they went with Thor Ragnarok, they kind of threw the comic books out the window and decided to have a lot more fun with the character. And that did nothing but pay off for them.
Oh, yeah.
There was no drawbacks to them doing that. It was just a fun movie filled with comedy and action. And it's just, when I want to sit down and watch an MCU movie, I almost always go straight to Ragnarok just because it's fun to watch.
Yeah, it's definitely really fun and really high energy.
Mm-hmm. And it also pays a lot of fan service to the people that have been reading the comics and like have been really wanting certain aspects showing up in the movies. Because like they obviously can't do, or at the time could not do, a full-on Planet Hulk.
Right.
They just couldn't because, Universal holds the rights to the Hulk, and they couldn't do a standalone Hulk movie, which is what that would have had to have been.
Right.
So what they do, they took some of the best parts of it and made it a part of that movie. Also Jeff Goldblum.
Also Jeff Goldblum.
But yeah. Now, they could do a World War Hulk. I'm not 100% sure how they're going to do that, but then again, they pulled some shenanigans and made it work. So I'm sure if they really wanted to do a World War Hulk, they'll make it work.
I'm still really sad that Adam Warlock didn't show up at the end of Endgame.
Well,
I know.
Yeah, but that's
they really teased him at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2 as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's why, like, I wasn't expecting Adam Warlock kind of at all until that end or post-credit scene. And then I was like, okay, I'm ready. They're doing Infinity War. I'm ready.
I was convinced, like I was telling people after that end credit scene, I was convinced that was going to be Adam Warlock and he was going to have the Soul Stone. And like that Soul Stone was part of that casket thing he was in.
Right.
But, obviously that's not what happened.
Yeah, I definitely thought that he was going to have a much bigger role to play. And I think he was supposed to until, they went on a smear campaign on James Gunn and he got fired. And
you think that might have been the direction he would have taken it?
I think that he was planning to do more with Adam Warlock, and that they may have they, as in the MCU, would have done more with Adam Warlock. But once James Gunn got let go, they didn't have that option anymore.
Didn't they rehire him?
They did,
but much later. So
yeah. Well, but I feel like we may. I don't know. I mean, I would just be okay with Adam Warlock at some point, at all.
Yeah, it'd almost be kind of awkward to bring him in now.
Yeah.
So you want to see Adam Warlock. What are some Marvel heroes that we haven't seen yet in the Marvel universe that you might want to see in the upcoming phases?
Man-Thing.
Really?
Yes.
Man-Thing. I mean, I'm not judging you.
Well, okay, no, but there was mention of Man-Thing in, was it Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Mm-hmm.
I think that there were a couple of people that were walking by, like S.H.I.E.L.D. people walking by, and one of them was like, "What is the Man-Thing?" And I was ready then too.
There was also an Easter egg of him in Thor Ragnarok.
There was, yeah.
Yep, he was on the tower where you could see Beta Ray Bill's face.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, one of the champions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, okay. I've never been a fan of Man-Thing, but hey, if you're a fan of Man-Thing, I hope he shows up for you.
Well, they've covered most of my other stuff that's not currently owned by the MCU.
Have you seen Giant Size Man-Thing? It's a comic. Pretty funny. It's always good to go into a shop and see a giant size Man-Thing. Talking about
so I'm shaking my head.
We get it.
I'm shaking my head for those of you who can't see me.
Just in case none of you at home are getting what I'm driving home right now.
He's driving home his giant-sized Man-Thing.
Right. I am beating a dead horse with the giant-sized Man-Thing.
So, Brad, what Marvel characters do you want to see in future movies?
I am cheating. I'm going to cheat.
Okay, cheat.
I want to see the Netflix guys show up. The Defenders.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I will say all the Defenders and include Iron Fist, just if I can get the rest of them in there.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm going to include them because I would love to see them, but it has to be the same actors.
Right. Yeah, of course.
Because I think they did a great job, and I don't think that they should be punished because Kevin Feige wants to do things his way, and it's his way or the highway. So definitely them, and I'm really excited to see. And this is, I guess this is also cheating because they're obviously coming, but I'm excited to see what they do with the X-Men.
Do you think we'll see the X-Men or the Fantastic Four first?
My guess is Fantastic Four. We will see the Fantastic Four first, but I believe that we will see mutants before the Fantastic Four.
So not specifically the X-Men, but we'll see certain mutants.
Correct. In fact, I think I can make the argument that we have already seen mutants.
Of course.
And
they just haven't called them mutants because they couldn't.
Right. But that's because they haven't classified them in that world as mutants yet either.
That's true.
That's true. I have a big
easy way for them to explain it.
I have a big theory that the mutants already have this gene, but it needs something to awaken that gene, and it's probably energy from the Infinity Gems, which explains Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch.
Right.
They have this gene, and they use the Infinity Gem to wake up that gene in them. So now with these snaps, the energy is washed all over the Earth, and it's going to hit all these people with the X genes.
What did Captain America call them at the beginning of Age of Ultron?
Enhanced.
Enhanced, yeah.
Is that what it was?
Yeah. So maybe you think they'll just throw out that word and just immediately go straight to mutants?
Yeah, well, I think what it's going to be is they're going to be... Oh, this is what it's going to be. Enhanced was just something to describe any kind of powered person. So even the Hulk would have been enhanced.
Right, yeah, because Captain America is considered enhanced.
Right. So once this influx of enhanced people brought on by the Infinity Gems happens, mutant is going to be a derogatory term.
Ooh, okay.
And that's going to play right into the whole metaphor of mutants anyways.
Right, yeah.
So mutant, I mean, if you think about it, who wants to be called a mutant anyways?
Right.
The fact that mutants call themselves mutants, it blows my mind. But I think that mutant is going to be a derogatory term that's just going to start popping up, and everybody's going to start calling them mutants. And it's probably going to be a word that mutants claim. They'll claim it just to take back the power.
Right.
I could see that.
So, yeah.
All right.
I think I really want to see, and I don't think we will, but I think I really want to see Moon Knight.
They're slated to make a Moon Knight TV show, actually.
Oh, they are?
Yeah. He's coming. So choose someone else.
Because Moon Knight would have been mine, except we've been confirmed to get Moon Knight now, I think in 2022 or something like that.
Well, as I've stated, I'm not a huge comic book fan. Most of what I know from comic books comes from 90s animated television shows and Wikipedia, because I'll look up one thing and then I'll get lost down this Wikipedia chain of clicking on blue links as I go on and on and on. So yeah, Moon Knight was all I had. I guess then if I have to pick something, I'd like to see them bring, and of course this is way out the way and it won't happen because of Sony, but I'd love to see the Spiderverse make its way into the MCU. Spider-Man and Black Panther have always been my two favorite Marvel superheroes. And my favorite version of Spider-Man is definitely not Peter Parker. Not to say that I have a favorite version of Spider-Man, but he definitely wouldn't be at the top. It'd probably be something like Gwen Stacy or Spider-Man. Miles Morales. Yeah.
I would even have to say that the main timeline Peter Parker is not my favorite Peter Parker.
I would agree with that, yeah.
He's not even my least favorite. He's not my favorite Spider-Man. He's not my favorite Peter Parker.
I think that's part of one of the reasons I really like the MCU Peter Parker.
Mm-hmm.
They took a lot of Miles Morales and put it into the MCU Peter Parker.
Well, you know what they did? They took a lot of the Ultimate Spider-Man Peter Parker.
Yeah.
And put it into that Peter Parker. And they took Miles Morales' best friend and made him Peter Parker's best friend.
Right.
Yeah.
It's how are you gonna do that? Yeah. I really like what they did with him, but I really like the other MCU characters, or the other Spider-Verse characters, like you said. I think that I don't know. It's going to get tricky, and I'm telling you now, just because of the deal that they have with Sony, we will never, ever, ever see the Spider-Verse characters in a mainstream MCU movie. They will all be in the Sonyverse.
Yeah,
that could still be cool too, though.
Yeah, and like honestly, I'm not giving up on hope that they won't eventually work out a deal with Sony to straight up buy the rights.
Yeah, it'll be pricey, but I mean, I could see them, eventually down the line making enough money, or, and I hate to say it like this, let Sony mess up on one of those Spider-Verse movies. No, not the cartoon one, but let's just say Morbius does horribly.
Yeah.
Who knows?
They don't even have to do that. I mean, like with the legal minutia of it all, if Sony messes up with their license, like Disney almost got Spider-Man for free when Sony was trying to make a deal with Apple TV.
Oh, yeah,
If Sony had made that deal with Apple TV, that was against the contract they had for their Spider-Man characters. Had they made that deal, Spider-Man would have automatically reverted back to Marvel, which is currently owned by Disney, and then Disney would have had Spider-Man for free without having to pay a dime.
Yep.
So, I mean, I'm not giving up on hope that Spider-Man's not going to come home eventually.
Yeah, because you're right. If the people doing Sony decide that, that's not where they're making their money, or they aren't making money and they want to sell, then boom, gone. And there's no way the government's going to let Disney buy Sony.
No, not as an entire company, no.
No. Can you say
just
monopoly?
Yeah.
But just the rights to the Spider-Verse, yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And then, once it gets there, it's never going anywhere because Disney's got the lock on copyright, so.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I could see that. I wish I was more excited for Morbius. I really do.
I think I'm more excited about the ramifications of Morbius than Morbius itself.
I could do with some Werewolf by Night, though.
I've heard
Have you
stuff.
heard things?
I think that they've talked about, well, they could just be rumors, though, like something somebody heard somewhere from somebody 3 times removed, that J. Jonah Jameson's son was supposed to be in Morbius.
Oh, I think I heard something about that, too, actually.
So, which, for anybody that, I mean, if you're listening to this podcast at this point, you've got to know, but if you don't know, then J. Jonah Jameson's son ends up being Werewolf by Night. So, that's a good possibility. That would be nice to see.
It would.
I mean, especially, if we could get a good Werewolf by Night versus Morbius fight.
Yeah, no, exactly.
But the ramifications of Morbius kind of go hand in hand with Spider-Man Far From Home, Spider-Man Homecoming, and they are building up to Sony's big crossover event, I guess, and that's going to be the Sinister Six.
Right. Yeah.
So
we've got Vulture, we've got Scorpion, we're gonna have Morbius, and I don't know who they're gonna fill out the other 3 with. I mean, like, they're the obvious choices, but like that doesn't mean they're gonna go with the obvious choices.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think they're gonna bring Kraven in because they've already introduced Kraven's brother, kind of. Again, that would be Dimitri in Far From Home.
Right.
Who is actually Changeling, or not Changeling. No, Changeling is someone else.
Yeah, I was like, Changeling is someone completely different.
Yeah, Changeling.
He's a comedian.
So we see him in Far From Home as the chameleon, Dimitri. So that's Kraven's brother. So yeah, there's him. His name is definitely not Changeling. That's for damn sure. Chameleon, because he looks like a lizard. Something.
Yeah, because Changeling's like a stand-up comedian.
Yeah. And then there's, I could have called him Morph. That'd have been good.
Oh, jeez.
These all feel like shades of one another.
Oh, that's it. They all end up being the same guy, and we never
the same
knew.
character.
Oh.
That's something they'd do in an MCU.
It would be.
Yeah, it would be.
So the Sinister Six, that's what they're building up for. And I'm almost 100% sure the Sinister Six will be so far away from the MCU that it's laughable.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, in everything. In tone, in everything.
Mm-hmm. And if I had to guess, I think, you know what? I'm going to make a prediction that they are building up to the death of Peter Parker. And he will die. in the Sinister Six movie, and they will introduce Miles Morales, but through some kind of Doctor Strange multiverse shenanigery, they will get Peter Parker in the MCU, or at least a Peter Parker in the MCU.
So then at that point, Sony and Disney will be entirely split.
Correct. So they'll have Miles Morales in the Sony Spiderverse, which would do them really good because Miles Morales is crazy popular. And then they would have Peter Parker, whoever they choose it to be. I'm sure Tom Holland, he's 25 now, but he still looks like he's 15. So
he's a year younger than I am.
Wow. Yeah. So yeah, I'm pretty sure he can ride that train for a while. He could probably hit 40, and he'll probably look like he's still in his 20s. So
if Sony does do that, then I hope we see Donald Glover as the Prowler.
Yes.
Yeah, he needs to be involved in some way. He's done.
Well, that was what they were setting him up for in Homecoming, wasn't
it? Yeah, they hinted at him because he was going to his nephew Miles' birthday party.
Right,
so obviously he's supposed to be the uncle, which is the Prowler, and he was obviously a thief. You know what I mean? Like, we knew that already.
Right.
So, and it would be easy for him to get the equipment to become the Prowler. So hopefully Sony will then reach out to Donald Glover, and we get to see Donald Glover as the Prowler.
Yep. Yeah, that would be good. He definitely needs to be given something in regards to that. And like I said, he's done that character a lot of justice.
So we talked a lot about Spider-Man and upcoming things. Let's roll back the clock a little bit and talk a little bit about Phase 1.
Oh my God. Does that even exist anymore? Phase 1. Wow. Yeah. I remember being there. It was great. Iron Man 1. Watching Iron Man 1, I would have never guessed it going this far.
I don't think anybody did. I mean, even the people who were involved in making that movie had no idea what they were making at the time.
I mean, even thinking back to that first post-credit scene, it was just like, okay, this could be cool. Like,
yeah.
And then the Hulk came out, and Tony Stark showed up in that. It was like, what? Wait a minute.
Hold on.
maybe they're taking this a little seriously.
Yeah.
Just a little.
That reveal of Samuel L. as Nick Fury, too. I mean, that was awesome.
That tells you how big of an impact the Ultimate Comics did for just, I guess, comic culture in general.
Right.
Because, I'm just going to assume some of you don't know. The Marvel Comics had a split-off world called the Ultimate Universe. I don't know what number that is. But it was essentially just the Marvel Universe starting again, except just a little different.
Right.
And in this, the artists, and I'm not sure how involved the writer was in the design of Nick Fury, but Nick Fury, instead of looking like David Hasselhoff, looked like Samuel L. Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
So the art came first, and they on purpose made him look like Samuel L. Jackson. So when the movie came out, the fact that they went for Samuel L. Jackson was just great.
Oh, yeah. And the way he's played that character from then on has been perfect.
Perfect. They even let him slip in a little motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, a little half of a motherfucker.
Yeah. Well, you get one, right, in a PG-13 movie. Like, you get
one fuck.
Yeah.
But he didn't get to finish it. He didn't get to finish his fuck. It was a half-done fuck.
Half fucked?
Half fucked.
Left the entire audience half fucked.
The Ultimates universe, not that this actually matters, is 1610, by the way.
Nice. 1610.
I don't remember what the MCU's numeric is.
616.
Not that we'll go too far in. Not that we'll go too far into the comics anyway. But didn't they merge the two universes eventually? Like, there was some giant battle.
They merged a lot of universes.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure that they are still other universes out there.
Yeah.
Earth 616 is the primary continuity, not the MCU continuity.
MCU, yeah.
MCU continuity is like, what, 99999?
Oh, it's something like that, yeah. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But
one of the reasons we all so readily believed Mysterio in Spider-Man Far From Home, because like up until that point in the MCU, there was no talk of a multiverse.
Right.
Like, we
not
Marvel
legit talk.
Right.
There's a bit in Thor 2.
Yeah. But yeah, that's why we all immediately jumped to like, oh yeah, different universes and stuff like that. Well, not that we believed he was a good guy. I mean, like anybody who knew Mysterio knew what was coming.
Yeah.
But and they did that character so well. Love Mysterio.
I just wish at this point they could have some characters, especially villains for Spider-Man, that weren't enemies of Tony Stark scorned.
Yeah. Yeah. Like.
Yeah. I was about to say, was Vulture, but yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
He was doing his thing, and then Tony Stark took over the
effort.
Was it Tony Stark or was it Damage Control?
It was Tony Stark.
Yeah.
Okay. Tony Stark headed the project.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he completely took over. What did they call that? The incident? Was it the incident?
Battle of New York.
Yeah, I don't remember what everyone refers to the Battle of New York.
Oh, I think the incident is what they called the snap and the blip,
depending on who you ask.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I mean, that's kind of the point, though, of the first probably 3 Spider-Man movies is the effect that Tony Stark had on him.
Right. Yeah.
Because I can guarantee you, there's going to be something in the third movie because Happy Hogan, I'm sure, is going to show up in the third one too.
Right. So. Yeah, but let's get him his own villain at this point.
Yeah, Happy Hogan. Give Happy Hogan his own villain.
Yeah, Happy Hogan. Absolutely. I need to see a 15-minute long fist fight between Happy Hogan and his nemesis.
I do miss. You guys remember the little shorts that they would do for the Marvel movies?
Oh yeah,
I miss those. That they stopped with the Return to the King. I think was the last time, or Return of the King. Or
thank God they did that. I was so mad. Ben Kingsley is a great actor, and I loved his rendition of Nigel.
Mm-hmm.
But when the reveal of that movie was it Guy Pearce? Is that his name? He's like, I'm the Mandarin. I was like, no, you're not. Stop. Mandarin is a blatant racist stereotype, and you are not one. Okay, sir. It was just so dumb.
Yeah.
Iron Man hasn't gotten the greatest villains in his movies. I don't think.
No,
I do. Not. I feel like they get rid of villains really fast in the MCU.
They do. But Marvel has this real big problem of just making their villain just the bad version of the hero, which in comic books, that's been a trope for a long time, right? And that's the good villain when they are like the evil version or the opposite of the hero. You know what I mean? That's what makes a nemesis.
Right. So that they're a perfect foil. Yeah.
But the way that Marvel has done it up until this point, and I only bring up these flaws because I know for most of this podcast, we're most likely going to be singing Marvel's praises, is that they just make it a bad guy with the hero's powers. Like, they don't really have an interesting personality or anything that necessarily mirrors or foils the hero in any way. They're just like, let's give this bad guy the hero's powers, and they're just a generic bad guy, and that's our villain for this movie.
I will say this. The one hero that they've not done that with, in my opinion, the one hero that they have treated the villains correctly, I believe, and haven't fallen on the old cliche, is Spider-Man. Going back to Spider-Man.
Yeah.
But that's because all of Spider-Man's villains are intended to be Tony Stark villains.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess at that point they would just be.
They just fall into a different kind of trap.
So you're right. So they're not mimicking Spider-Man's powers, but they sure as hell are mimicking Iron Man's powers.
Yeah. I think Red Skull in Captain America was pretty good. Good enough for them to bring him back.
But he's just
Captain America. What happens when a bad person gets the serum?
Yeah, but here's the difference, in my opinion. Like, he actually had a personality and a driving goal before Captain America existed.
His personality was Nazi. Yeah. That was his personality.
That's still something. I mean, like, it's better than just like, I'm just a bad dude.
Well,
like, evil motivations or not, at least he's got some more motivation other than defeat Captain America.
Right, but look at the Spider-Man villains, though. I mean, yeah, they had, fuck over Tony Stark. But, I mean, Vulture had a family he was taking care of. He was like one of those, you know what? If I was Vulture and put in that situation, fuck Tony Stark. I'm doing this too. You know?
Yeah.
It's like, he is one of the few villains that I could actually get down with. Like, all right, man. Okay, I can kind of, maybe not threaten to shoot Peter Parker in the face, but I can get down with that. But also, the cliche that I was talking about that Spider-Man also avoids is they don't kill off his villains.
Yeah. Yeah, we're definitely going to see Spider-Man's villains come back. And I think that was more Sony's decision than Marvel's decision, because I think Sony saw what they could do with those villains.
And those of you at home, but Mysterio died. Did he?
No, I don't think he did.
I say because he had those glasses on and asked those glasses. He didn't say, is he dead? He said, is everything I'm seeing real?
Right.
You ask a computer that, the computer's going to say, yep, no illusions, they're all down. The motherfucker's still alive, but everything's good. Everything's good.
Yeah. The thing is, even if they did kill Mysterio, I think they've got a nice rogues gallery process, even if they did. But yeah, I think you're right. I think he's not dead.
But here's the deal, too. The cool thing about Mysterio is even if they killed him, even if they killed the guy who was Mysterio, Mysterio's still going to come back. Yep. Because the kid from the Christmas Story is going to take all that stuff and he's going to come back as Mysterio himself. Again, the bald guy was a kid from the Christmas Story. I don't know if you knew that.
I was not aware, actually. Because I was just like, the kid from the Christmas Story? Yeah. I get it. We're all on the same page. We're all good. That's an issue that I've had for a minute, though, is the very quickly getting rid of previous Marvel villains. And I actually... Can I bring up the Winter Soldier again? How many times can I bring up the Winter Soldier?
How many times are we talking about, we're going to talk about the MCU, but we keep going back to Spider-Man. Please bring it back to the MCU.
Yes, please.
Okay. So, and this is actually because of comics, but Alexander Lukin showed up and I was like, oh shit, Red Skull's back. But he wasn't. And then he was, but also wasn't. Because he's mellowed in his age. Can we talk about how Red Skull mellowed out real hard? Like, was it just because he was lonely?
That's like, it's almost like he's a completely different guy.
Yeah, wow.
Well, you get given a good job. Sometimes that's all you need. You get a nice career. You get on a nice career path, and you just doing your job and focus on that. You can mellow out your personality a lot.
Yeah, his incredibly hard job that he definitely applies himself for, standing on top of a rock alone.
Well, I wonder what I will be doing today. Just standing here, enjoying myself. Oh, what a view!
And where are his legs? What happened to his leggy bits? He just floating around.
He's literally just a skull and a cloak. Now.
Kind of. Like...
I mean, let's face it, that would probably make Red Skull a more interesting villain.
Oh, yeah.
Why do they call you Red Skull? Oh, I think you know.
That makes it sound like he's talking about his dick.
and the skull is my penis.
Bringing it back.
Bro, are you aware that you're just a floating head?
I am two floating heads.
All he's got.
Two for the price of one, yeah. Wow.
It's evolved.
I like our Red Skull. Just a floating skull full of dick jokes.
Oh, that's almost a kill decree right there.
Yeah.
One of you want to waste it on that? Go ahead. The kill decree should be this Red Skull is better than the original Red Skull. Also, he's not a Nazi.
What?
We'll circle back if I don't think of something else by the end of the cast.
Okay. But yeah. Man, I'm just so happy about Bucky, though.
I mean,
can I talk about how pissed I am about MODOK?
Yes.
I mean, I don't know. Okay.
I feel like they could have done something cool with MODOK. I mean, MODOK...
See, that's what I was afraid you were going to say. You can't do anything cool with MODOK.
Yeah, well, okay, not cool, but I don't know what I'm trying to say here. But
defend your opinion.
Yeah, go ahead.
What they did with MODOK,
What
I
did
don't
they do with
enjoy.
MODOK?
He was the dude in the base.
No, that wasn't MODOK.
You don't think so? I thought that was supposed to be MODOK.
No. That's
What are we talking about?
This is my comic ignorance shining through. So there was a spot, I think it was Winter Soldier, where Captain America.
Oh no, that was not MODOK. That was not MODOK.
Yeah, okay.
No.
I thought that was supposed
not
to
at
be.
all.
No, he's like completely different. Oh, damn it! What is his name?
What is his name? I've got his face in my head.
Well, that's all he was there for a little bit.
Yeah.
Once
again, this is my comic ignorance shining through. Like,
no, that's fine. It's Arnim Zola.
Arnim Zola, yeah, because that's what Zola was. He was just a floating face.
Cruising chicks with Arnim Zola. That's what the Super Skrull does.
Are you saying Armin Zola?
Armin.
I thought it was Arnim.
Nope. Oh, you're right. I've been saying it wrong this whole time.
I was like,
you know
Arnim.
What? You know what?
For the past 2 minutes.
He's a Nazi. Fuck him.
But he was Swiss, damn it.
I mean, he's like MODOK with...
Yeah, that's MODOK-ish. It's MODOK with bigger limbs.
Let's put a face in the middle of arms and legs. That's our theme. I'm Jack Kirby. I do what I want.
Let's make two villains that look exactly like Krang.
Everyone has tiny feet.
Oh, here.
Oh, yep.
Oh, jeez, yeah.
They're fighting each other.
Is that what they're doing? I thought they were giving a high five.
That's what I got from that picture.
I saw that and was like, oh, they're in a slap fight.
Bad at identifying things.
Also, that'd be a really bad idea.
It would be, yeah.
To get in a slap fight with them?
The two of them slap fighting each other just would be a bad idea in general.
That's true.
Yeah, no, yeah. Also, I'm pretty sure Arnim Zola would win.
He's got arms.
He's got arms. Yeah, he actually has reach.
Yeah, but it's got like T-Rex arms.
It would be like Slender Man trying to fight a T-Rex.
I would like to point something out, though.
That was a weirder image.
Armin Zola is like a scientist, right?
Yeah, yeah.
He's smart. He's probably in a robot body, right?
Yeah, Operation Paperclip.
I would like to point out that MODOK was designed to kill.
Sure, but not slap. He was designed to kill, not slap.
It is in his name.
It is, yeah. But does that shit slap, though?
Probably not.
Okay, so back to the MCU.
Hey, Armin Zola was in there.
Yeah, Armin.
That's true. I thought it was MODOK.
He's a Nazi. Fuck him.
It's fine. It's fine.
The Casters Guild would like to take this opportunity to formally state that if you are a Nazi, fuck
Hold on.
you.
You ready? Guild decree. His name is Armin.
Yeah. Done.
Okay. Accepted.
You have no choice. It is a guild decree.
Just like, okay.
Your rank has no hold here.
Damn it.
I can't believe I wasted it on that.
There are worse places.
Fuck him. He's a Nazi.
Yeah, that's also what you're saying with that guild decree is fuck Nazis. So, you're not wasting it.
Yeah, I'm taking an official stance. An official stance. You know what? A guild stance. Fuck Nazis.
Oh, yeah, that's what I said. Yeah.
Yep. So does that mean we have to change our opening message to, except for the part about Nazis?
The disclaimer, just like, by the way, if you're a Nazi, fuck you.
Yeah, just like all of the opinions stated below are owned by the cast itself, except for the bit about Nazis.
Watch
fuck those guys.
There's gonna be some dude out there that dyed his hair blonde that's listening to this, and he's like, "Oh, I really hope that they say something about the Red Skull." And then he gets to this part, he's like, "Oh no, fuck him, no!" And it's like the worst German accent because he's actually from Connecticut. And
we get in our first hate mail in our emails.
No, fuck you! Don't fuck Nazis. Fuck you. All right.
I hope we get hate mail about that. That's the best thing to get hate mail about.
I don't like that you don't like Nazis. Oh, okay, cool.
Sucks.
I'm glad we agree to disagree on that one, but
Sucks to suck, but okay.
So the MCU.
Back to the MCU, which is chock full of Nazis. Let me just tell you,
It really is.
I mean, it was really the cornerstone of Marvel Comics there for the longest time.
I mean, easy bad guy.
Oh
You know.
yeah,
Because fuck those guys.
yeah. Good luck, those guys. Even the Joker hates them, so whatever.
I'm still a little weirded out by what they are, like the Red Room versus Hydra thing.
They're doing a Red Room versus Hydra thing.
Well, not like no, they're not having the Red Room and Hydra battle it out.
Oh, that would be cool.
No,
I'd watch that entire movie.
I was really hoping that there was going to be the reveal of like Bucky and Natasha, but instead what we got is, oh, he shot me in the tummy that one time.
In the tummy tum.
And also he's a ghost, even though I don't believe that. But yeah, when they did the everything is Hydra in the Winter Soldier, that's all that I'm going to talk about. That's the only thing.
You know what? I'm gonna.
That's a really important part of the MCU.
Oh my god!
It was really the big turning part.
Oh yeah,
point, I think
it fucked over the Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. TV show so bad.
Oh yeah, I was like, what's gonna happen with Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? And
believe me, I'm pretty sure the writers of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was wondering that. It's like, oh no, what does this do?
They weren't advised. They were not advised until that movie came out.
No.
They just went smack. There you go. Deal with it.
Poor Jeb Whedon.
I kind of thought that we were going to get some Bucky in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like a little. I had a suspicion. It didn't happen, obviously, but I thought that there was going to be something.
I was hoping to be a lot more of everything in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but we got like a little taste of Samuel L. Jackson, a little bit of Sif, and then a whole lot of fuck you.
Yeah. Also, then
a whole season of Nazis.
Clint and Natasha still don't know that Coulson's alive, right?
Right.
Like, it's been like 10 years, and Natasha definitely doesn't know at this point, but...
Nope.
Okay.
Theoretically, Fury knows.
Yeah, Fury knows.
But which Fury?
Oh.
Is it the regular Fury, or is it the Skrull Fury? Which you can tell because one of them cuts their sandwiches diagonally, and the other one hates that.
I hated that reveal so much.
In Spider-Man?
Yeah, I hated that so much because at this point it's like, okay, well, what was done by actual Fury and what was done by Skrull Fury? Has there been an actual Fury on Earth since Captain Marvel? Has this all been Skrull Fury? Like, I don't know.
And also, like, does it really matter though?
I mean, I guess not.
I mean, right?
Because they established like the Skrulls aren't bad guys,
aren't they? Though,
like they're not.
I guess you're right.
Too bad in the grand scheme of things. Like they're not going around being genocidal.
They're not definitely not, for God's sakes.
They're definitely not bad guys in the MCU.
Right.
Yeah. So like
as a whole.
Right.
I guess that's kind of what they're, because the comics were really good at using a broad brush on these alien races.
Oh yeah.
So it was. I think it's kind of good that they went into it and was just like, hey, see these Skrull? Well, they're okay. And see this Kree? They've just been brainwashed to do these things. They're being controlled to do these things. They're not bad. They're just being told to do these things.
They're being told to do bad stuff by a space Nazi machine.
We're back to Nazis.
It's just like Wikipedia. You're 3 clicks from Nazis at all times. I think it's 5 clicks to Nazis, actually. I don't know. I don't play that game.
Oh my gosh. But I think what's going to happen is we're going to see the ramifications of Skrull Fury here pretty soon.
Okay.
If I had to guess, it's going to pop up in... I'm betting it's going to pop up in the second Captain Marvel movie.
What if Fury actually died in Winter Soldier? What if that's when the switchover took place?
It couldn't.
Yeah, we saw actual Fury on the
sword. That's actually the Sword space station.
Okay.
Which there's a whole lot of scroll on, but yeah, anyways. But yeah, no. And, and I do have to, and I don't know if they did this on purpose, but you notice, you see Fury, and you see how he's, he seems kind of fit, right? I mean,
yeah.
I think Samuel L. Jackson is like in his late 60s, maybe at this point.
Yeah, late 60s, early 70s.
So to be in that age, for him to look like that, I think is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end of Spider-Man, you notice when he got up and was like walking out of that little simulator, he looked a little, I don't know, he looked a little doughy to me.
You think so?
I almost think that maybe he's been out of action for a while, and I think maybe they made him look like that on purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay.
He's 71.
He's a damn fine looking man for 71.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah, I think it could. I think there's going to be a reveal and I think they're going to make it significant that he hasn't been the Nick Fury that we've known this whole time.
The Nick Fury that we know and love.
Yes, the one. Well, even though the Nick Fury we've come to know and love is the Skrull Nick Fury, so whatever.
Maybe
But I think we'll find out when the switch happened.
Yeah.
Well, who knows if it wasn't like a back and forth kind of thing.
Well,
right, yeah. How does Nick Fury appear to be two places at once?
Because he is.
When the Skrull puts the eye patch on the wrong eye.
Right. The Skrull Nick Fury took over whenever the real Nick Fury went to Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Okay.
Well, the real Nick Fury can't be in charge right now because he's in the Whedon show, whatever. I don't even know. It'll be fun.
I want Marvel Zombies for no good reason besides because Marvel Zombies are deadites. And I'm just like, I want the hellish joining that is Disney and Evil Dead.
Well, we're getting that.
Are we?
Yeah, with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness.
Oh,
is that what we're getting?
We're definitely getting Sam Raimi directing that movie.
We are.
Oh, Marvel horror.
Oh, I'm so down though.
And if I had to guess, in the Multiverse of Madness, we are going to get your Marvel Zombies.
Just a little.
And think of it though. We're going to get a little bit of your Marvel Zombies, and they are going to be directed by Sam Raimi.
It's going to be
totally going to be Deadites. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You think there'll be a little bit more of a reference to that, other than the fact that they look like Deadites?
Oh, I'm sure that they'll make a slight reference, and who is going to show up in that movie. Okay. Maybe not Ash, but Bruce Campbell.
Yeah.
Bruce Campbell is for sure going to be in that movie.
How many characters did he play in the Raimi Spider-Mans?
One. He was all Mysterio.
Oh, snap.
Okay.
Notice he showed up at every little point of Spider-Man's career.
Mm-hmm.
And he showed up to fuck him over at that theater like a dick.
There were actually a couple other spots he was supposed to be in, too. Like, it was supposed to be him in the elevator.
In the elevator.
Yeah, the other stand-up comedian, I don't remember his name.
Which one was this?
2, I think. It was like when the other stand-up comedian is standing in an elevator with him because Spider-Man's powers aren't working quite right, so he can't.
Yeah.
And he's like, nice Spider-Man costume, and he's like, thanks. He rides up a little bit though, that was supposed to be Bruce in that elevator actually, but then they got another comedian to do the part. So,
I mean, Bruce Campbell has been in a Disney movie before. It's fine.
Which one?
Sky High.
Oh yeah, that was Disney, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, that was such a good movie.
I love Sky High.
I do too.
They had 2 kids in the hall in it.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about the first Iron Man movie. Are there any other movies that anybody has anything prolific to say about Phase 1?
Phase 1, I think it did its job. I think the first phase was just setting everything up.
Introducing characters.
Yeah.
And it was also them feeling it out.
Oh, yeah. Let's put these movies out and see how well they do.
Right. And then even the first Avengers movie was, "Ooh, I wonder if this is gonna work," and it blew everything out of the water.
Oh yeah.
No, we can make billions of dollars off of this.
And then phase 2, what everybody was doing was showing, okay, here's the first Thor movie, here's Avengers, and here's the second Thor movie.
The second Thor movie.
It wasn't good enough for me to have seen it in the theater as many times as I did, but I was thirsty for Loki.
Who's not really?
Yeah, like, I'm man enough to admit it.
I would kneel.
I'm not gonna say anything, but
the head shaking is enough.
So let's
the
bring
fans
it
don't need to know.
Let's bring it back to the question from my intro. Which Chris is hottest?
Oh, out of the three of them,
Mm-hmm.
Evans, totally.
Ditto, actually. Yeah.
And that's just a whole package situation because he just better looking, and then just he seems like an all around nice guy.
I'm gonna be the odd man out and say Pratt.
You would wait, fat Pratt or fit Pratt?
It doesn't matter.
Either.
It doesn't matter. Now
I'm more of a fat Pratt.
I can be physically attracted to fit Pratt, right? Because I like a man with a little bit of definition.
I don't like a man with too many muscles.
Yeah, like just a little definition. What makes Pratt hot is his, comedic abilities. I would say, like his
which is why I like the fat Pratt better.
Yeah, I think you get it from both Pratts, honestly.
Yeah, well, when he was still fat Pratt and on Parks and Rec, though, I think he felt like he had a lot more to prove.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
So yeah, he was.
Yeah, because he was just a cameo. Well, not a cameo, I guess, but like he was just like a character who was only supposed to be in a few episodes, and then like he got such a high demand to be on that show that they just brought him back, and he became a regular.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, that's a good question. If you were in the MCU, what kind of character would you be?
I'd be Toad from X-Men.
Because I always every fucking geek has to ask that question.
How about you?
I think that I would. I think I'd be one of those nameless guys in the sorcerer camps.
Oh, so you would just be a sorcerer, not necessarily.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
See, on one hand, I'm like, why don't I just give you guys the canned answer that was the OC that I had when I was writing it?
That works.
Also, I was 14, so I've changed a little.
Is your answer whoever ends up with Winter Soldier?
Nice.
No, I was going to draw more lines than that, but at the end of the day, yeah.
Is it the metal arm? Is that what does it?
I mean, the metal arm helps, but Bucky was hot before he had the metal arm too.
Oh, there you go. So the metal arm is icing, is what you're telling me.
Yes,
icing on the cake. You really
or sprinkles on the donut. Whatever you want to go with. Yeah.
Glaze on the donut.
Carrot cake. Like, what are we going with?
I couldn't think of anything else you glaze.
Either way, Ray, you still haven't answered the question.
Yeah, you're right. I was playing like a weird, like Amora type sorcerer person, minus the rape. Because let's face it, Amora's like really rapey.
Mm.
Who?
Amora. She was a Thor villain.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The revelation, like the realization.
Yeah, that was rapey.
You hear it in the O's.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I mean that's the same thing with like Thanos' brother, Eros, or Star Fox. Anyways.
Star Fox.
Like his ability to make people sexually attracted to him is like, whoa, wow.
Can we talk about Purple Man?
but he's a villain though.
I mean, that's valid. I'm just uncomfortable with how often that happens.
Oh yeah, that's true. But I mean, at least like with Enchantress and Eros, or not Eros, Purple Man, they're villains. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I get it.
Like rape is bad, kids, but
right. Fucking Eros, who was a good guy, it's like, that's your power, bro?
Mm-hmm.
I I mean, at the very least, he was like, let's not make them physically attracted to you, but maybe your power is to give someone an uncomfortable boner.
I mean, I think that's a great power, though.
Yeah.
So now that we don't have anything else to say about Phase 1, we can kind of go into Phase 2.
Can we? What is there to say about Phase 2?
That right there. I mean, like, talk about how in Phase 2, there's nothing to say about Phase 2.
Well, I mean, Winter Soldier was Phase 2, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it definitely wasn't Phase 3.
Anything, so post the first Avengers movie is Phase 2, and I don't remember where the cutoff for Phase 3 was, because I don't think that the cutoff was Avengers 2.
No, the cutoff, wasn't it? Wasn't it Age of Ultron?
Phase 2 is Iron Man 3, Thor the Dark World, Captain America the Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, Age of Ultron, and Ant-Man.
Let's fucking talk about this goddamn phase then. All right?
Yeah, let's do it.
It was really hit or miss.
Fucking hate Iron Man 3. Moving on.
Okay.
Iron Man 3 and Thor the Dark World, I think, were both...
The only good thing about Thor the Dark World was Kat Dennings saying Mew Mew, and that's about it.
I'm really sad that there hasn't been more Kat Dennings.
I think she's supposed to show up in...
Love and Thunder?
Ooh, no, I think she may be showing up in the WandaVision.
Okay.
I think she's working for Sword, and Sword is going to play a huge role in that.
That makes a lot of sense.
Like the grown-up Monica Rambeau is going to be in She's an Agent of Sword.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, I'll be here for it.
Oh, but... especially if she's in more than one episode, in as many episodes as we can get her in, and then
every
move her
episode
on to a movie, and then maybe some more exposure on, like, you know, press dockets. You know what? I just want more Kat Dennings is what I'm driving home right now. And
I can't wait for the ambitious crossover event with Two Broke Girls.
Please stop.
But I feel like compared to Phase 1, Phase 2 is kind of hit or miss. I was surprised. I actually really enjoyed Ant-Man. I didn't think I was going to.
Was great. Ant-Man was great.
Like, I didn't think I was going to like it, and it was wonderful.
I will say...
you guys were answering your answer for favorite MCU movies. Like, when I knew I was going to go last, I was flipping back and forth between Ragnarok and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy was fucking amazing.
Mm-hmm. Loved that movie.
In fact, the reason why it isn't my favorite is because the only reason why I think it's so amazing is because I expected so little from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair.
And it helped that it came after Iron Man 3 and Thor the Dark World. So my expectations were real low. Real fucking low. And also, I'm familiar with the original Guardians of the Galaxy from the comics, which sucked. Sorry, anybody that loved the original Guardians of the Galaxy. You're wrong. And honestly, I wasn't a huge fan of Captain America: The Winter Soldier. However, I realized the impact that it had on the MCU in general. It had a huge impact. Huge impact. Wait, is the Winter Soldier the one where Captain America was hanging onto that rail and then hanging onto that helicopter trying to keep Bucky from flying away?
No.
No. Okay.
That's not that one.
Oh, is that Civil War?
Yeah, that's Civil War.
Okay, I couldn't remember which one gave me an uncomfortable erection. Captain America: The Winter Soldier, like I said, had a huge impact.
Regular erection. I'm just saying.
I'm sorry?
There was nothing uncomfortable about that erection for me.
Oh, no, I'm just saying my pants were way too tight.
Let's see.
So Captain America: The Winter Soldier, I think, had a huge impact, but I wasn't a huge fan. And then Age of Ultron was like the last movie that Whedon had his hands on.
Yeah.
And I'm so angry at that movie.
I've got some pretty big issues with Age of Ultron. Not the least of which is, like, Quicksilver.
There it is. I was about to say, better be fucking Quicksilver.
Yeah, no, like, what the fuck?
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, what the fuck? There we go. We've talked.
Oh,
no, it
can be said about that.
It's just dumb. It's honestly okay. Like, all props out to Jeremy Renner, and I like Hawkeye. I do like Hawkeye as a character. I've never liked him as an Avenger, even in the comics. The way that movie should have ended should have been Hawkeye sacrificing himself, or seemingly sacrifice himself, like in the comics.
Coming back later as Ronin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and it kills me that they can't. All right.
I could understand why they didn't want to bring him back as Ronan, though, because I feel like that could have caused some confusion with non-comic people compared to the fact that the last movie to come out was Guardians of the Galaxy.
That's true. But now, I will say this. I was going to say that I was really upset they weren't going to bring back Quicksilver, but with WandaVision, I'm pretty sure that he's going to make a comeback.
I'd be down.
The reason they did that was because they couldn't have Quicksilver after this movie, right? Like, it was a rights thing?
I didn't think so.
Like, I thought it belonged to Fox, and like
now, here's the
deal where they got to use him, and then
one movie
use him after that.
Well, here's the deal. I think that maybe that's what they wanted us. They wanted us to believe that they just wanted to sacrifice somebody, and it was just a story thing. I think behind the scenes, you may be right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm betting behind the scenes they probably had some kind of deal. Remember too that in the Fox X-Men ones where Pietro was in, Wanda was kind of there.
Yeah, his younger sister, right?
Yeah, wasn't a twin, but he did have a younger sister. And if I'm not mistaken, she was dressed in red, which was cute. But
I think she was, yeah.
Which you never saw her again.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So
they did a much better job with Quicksilver over on that side.
I like
it was an amazing job, don't get me wrong, but it was better.
He was the only good thing about those movies.
Trying to think. I wouldn't say he was the only good thing about those movies, but I would say he was the only thing good about those movies that wasn't entirely aesthetic.
Okay.
I think everyone knows what I'm talking about. It's fine.
You're talking about Oscar Isaac, right?
I am not talking about Oscar Isaac. Oh my god. I perpetually forget that he was Apocalypse, and then someone reminds me, and I'm like, huh. Oh no. Cameron, why?
Reaction that rages.
Oh man. Can we all agree that Joss Whedon has done some great things, but Avengers Age of Ultron was not one of them?
Yes.
Okay. Also,
to be honest, I'm more than willing to even say that like Joss Whedon has done some great things, but not in the last 10 years.
Ooh.
I mean, he did the original Avengers, though, didn't he?
Wasn't that in 2010?
Touche.
Oh no, I'm sorry. The Avengers came out in 2012, so 8 years. I'll say in the last 8 years.
So I think that Phase 2, while not great, was pivotal. Because even with Thor the Dark World, it did so badly that they knew that they had to do something different, and we got Thor Ragnarok. So things happened in Phase 2 that made the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe better.
All right. Then on to Phase 3.
Phase 3. Wow.
What kicked off Phase 3? What was the movie that kicked off Phase 3?
Captain America Civil War.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the weird boner movie.
Oh.
It still wasn't weird.
Oh, this is when the Russos started taking over.
Yes.
Oh, the Russos. They were arguably probably one of the best things to happen to the MCU.
Yeah, because it's Civil War and then Doctor Strange, which Doctor Strange also, at least for me, changed a lot in the MCU. Because whereas previously every time you would come into contact with something that could have been labeled magic, of course there's that whole discussion in the first Thor movie about no, it's just technology. And that's whenever it just suddenly was like, no, it's magic. There's magic here.
Mm-hmm.
So dumb. Fucking, I hate that. I hate it. I fucking oh my god. And then we're not really gods, we're aliens. And then like what movie was it? Thor Ragnarok?
It was Ragnarok where he was like, I'm the god of thunder.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Fully embraced the god thing. Like they said god so many times in that movie. They're like, are you the god of hammers? Like no.
What are you supposed to be the god of again?
Yeah. Like, no, they said God so many times in that movie. Like,
I think they were just like, yeah, we're done with this whole fucking, science is just magic to a bullshit society, blah. Which, speaking of, the next movie being Doctor Strange. Fuck, yes, Doctor Strange. Yeah. I mean,
could they have cast Doctor Strange better? Like, would that have been possible?
I feel like you can ask that in that same tone about most of the MCU. That's
true. They have excellent casting.
I would not. Okay, I am full disclosure, I do not love Tony Stark in the comics. And I really think that the only person that they could have viably cast as Tony Stark to make me actually give a goddamn about him is Robert Downey Jr.
Well, fun story. In the Demon in a Bottle storyline in the comics, they originally wanted that to be drugs. And I think it was heroin that they wanted it to be.
Yeah.
But they were like, no, that's too
heavy.
much.
Too heavy.
Let's just make it alcohol.
Yeah, I don't think that you were supposed to like Tony Stark in the comics.
No, but it's just I was surprised that I actually cared emotionally about Tony Stark the amount that I did. And we'll leave it at that.
Did you love him 3000?
I didn't love him 3000, but I maybe loved him 1500.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
I have to say, I probably didn't care too much about him. He was kind of largely annoying through the first 3 movies.
Mm-hmm. I think that's his character arc, though, right? I mean, like, he starts as a dick, and then he becomes, which is, I think, one of the reasons it's so important that he came back to that line at the end of Endgame when he was like, I am Iron Man. Like, he truly became the hero at that point. Like, when he first said, I am Iron Man, he was just being a dick about it. He was just like, these are my toys and you can't play with them because they're mine. And like, when he came back with I am Iron Man this time, it's because like, I am the hero that will save this world.
Yep.
So,
the universe. This Phase 3 is so fucking amazing. New characters alone that had their own movies. We had Doctor Strange, Spider-Man, Black Panther.
Oh, Black Panther,
Captain Marvel, and really the Wasp.
Yeah.
Even though she was in the first one, she wasn't the Wasp yet.
Yeah.
It was hinted at heavily, but
yeah.
It was.
Also, arguably, Ant-Man and the Wasp is the doorway to the Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
I see that happening. Both the Spider-Man movies.
Yes.
Phase 3.
Both of the Spider-Man movies are Phase 3.
Oh my God, Phase 3 is just so amazing. There's so much going on. They're just like, all right, Phase 1 was good. Phase 2 is, we're getting you ready to fucking kick you right in the dick hole with Phase 3.
Yeah.
So you got like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which was amazing. You know, Mary Poppins premiered in that. It was great. Spider-Man Homecoming.
Ragnarok.
Ragnarok, which was right after Spider-Man Homecoming. Black Panther. God.
I think the movies that were successful in Phase 2 are what led into Phase 3. I mean, like when they realized what could work, when they were like, because I really don't think they were expecting anything out of Guardians of the Galaxy.
No.
I feel like they were just throwing something against the wall and we're like, it's just the Guardians of the Galaxy. So like if nothing happens, we can just kind of phase them out. And if something good does happen, we can bring them in full swing. And with how well it was received, that's what led them to doing more movies with that kind of feel to it.
And I would argue that you could even take that movie, take its box office sales, and then add in how much that fucking soundtrack made.
Holy shit, yeah.
James Gunn, I mean, the Guardians of the Galaxy 2 soundtrack was okay. But that first soundtrack, when you weren't expecting that shit.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, just the opening of that film.
Before the movie even came out, me and a buddy were sitting down and we're like, okay, let's go ahead and just make a playlist and, just see what it's going to be. We'll just see what we guess. And it's funny, one of my picks for the first one didn't make it into the first one, made it into the second one.
Okay.
Mr. Blue Sky.
Okay.
Awesome mix too.
Yep. So, yeah. Exactly what you're saying. They figured out, not only did they figure out what could work, they figured out what didn't work and they fixed it. Such as the case as Thor Ragnarok. They knew that the super serious, the Dutch angles, none of that was going to work anymore. They're going to go and they're going to do this right, and they made it way less serious, and it was great.
They made it look like one of those Marvel blacklight posters, and it was wonderful.
It was great. Also, Hulk butt.
Hulk butt, yeah.
Can we talk about Hulk butt?
Yep.
Hulk butt. He got
and
booty.
Thor's response to seeing Hulk dick.
Thor was not ready.
I mean, like, would you be?
None of anything. You'd think, he had slain enough ice giants at this point to where, like, he might have been ready, but, like,
they all wore kilts. They all wore kilts.
But my question is the Hulk being the Hulk, do you think that if he backed it up, would it be fat enough?
If he sped it up, would it be fast enough?
I have nothing to add. I'm removing myself. It was nice knowing everyone.
He got a nice booty, though. We'll just leave it at that. So yeah, but no, they did exactly what they needed to do. I'm sticking with. They punched us in the fucking face with Phase 3. We weren't ready.
No.
We were not ready for Phase 3 at all.
We weren't ready for any of it. Was there any single one in Phase 3 that at the end of the movie you weren't like, holy shit, what's happening?
No. Nope. I'm looking at them now. No, I was at a complete fucking loss at every single one of them. Even Captain Marvel, which a lot of incels hated, I loved it. I mean, it helps.
Want to make a standard statement about incels to go with our Nazi statement earlier?
I mean, it's the same picture, really.
You're right.
But Captain Marvel, I loved, and it may help that I'm old and worked at Blockbuster, but I loved Captain Marvel.
It did hit my 90s feels.
No, right in them. They were a little heavy-handed with the 90s, but at the same time, it was like, eh.
I also love the Kevin Smith reference.
Oh yeah, what a convoluted reference that was too.
Oh yeah. Well, like Stan Lee, famous for making cameos in Marvel's movies, but his first ever cameo was in a Kevin Smith movie, Mallrats, and then he makes his cameo in Captain Marvel, reading the lines from his cameo in Mallrats.
As old Stan Lee.
Yes. Which is young Stan Lee. Well, younger Stan Lee.
And Stan Lee being famous for creating all these characters and thinking of the lines that he made, especially concerning the Fantastic Four. Does that mean that cameo made the Fantastic Four canon in the MCU? Oh, my brain.
If nothing else, it made the Fantastic Four comics canon
this is
and the comics based off the actual characters.
My theory is that Mallrats being in an alternate timeline or in an alternate universe just dealt with different subjects. Probably, superheroes that had been invented purely for the MCU.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So, I mean, and again, even Ant-Man and the Wasp, I think Ant-Man and the Wasp, while it was a decent movie, it set up so many different things. I mean, I really think that Ant-Man and the Wasp was a setup movie.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
And I'm okay with that. I'm here for that.
And who was the character, Ant-Man's roommate, who came and got him out of jail?
Oh, crap.
Lewis?
Lewis, yes.
I love Lewis.
Is it Lewis or Louise? I don't remember.
Either way, I love that guy.
Mm-hmm. He should have done the Endgame recap.
I know, right? Not to mention it would have been done in like 0.3 seconds.
And we would have known exactly what happened. I just love the idea of like getting some of the actors in there, mouthing Luis's lines.
Yes. So much, yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah. So I mean, there's really we could go on and on about Phase 3 because it was just amazing. But what are your expectations for Phase 4?
I mean, it's difficult to speculate at this point. I mean, like they've pretty much told us exactly what to expect from Phase 4. At this point, they're telling us ahead of time so far. They're like, you're going to get this, and this.
Yeah.
We can talk about what we expect from those movies.
Well, let's go through the slate then. So we got Black Widow, which has been shoved back to November 6th because of quote unquote everything that's going on.
I'm very much looking forward to Black Widow. I understand this is supposed to take place in the past, but I feel like this is long overdue.
Yes.
Two things.
Yeah.
And they're related. I'm only watching this because of Taskmaster.
Okay.
Second, he better fucking live at the end of this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Oh, yeah. I feel like that's the only point of doing it. I feel like the only point of doing it is to bring in Taskmaster. That way they can introduce him later in Phase 4 or possibly Phase 5.
I heard something about him maybe being in Moon Knight. Now, that's entirely like...
I mean, whatever.
Rumor.
Yeah.
But, like, I've...
show up in Deadpool.
There's a lot to unpack there. And Ugh.
But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. I feel like it's way overdue. Black Widow should have got her own movie a long time ago.
Maybe
And
before she died.
Yeah.
Sorry, I broke Baron.
But
it's not that funny, but it's just it's true though. It's just so much truth in that statement.
How long have we been asking for a Black Widow movie, and then they decide, oh, you know what?
She did. There you go. But being the fact that I'm not a huge comic book fan, I don't know a whole lot about Black Widow, and I am looking forward to hearing more about.
Well, I mean, frankly, even as somebody who does know about Black Widow in the comics, they've already moved so far away from the background that we were previously aware of for the comics. I'm not sure that I have a specific expectation for it to match anything at this point. And I'm not upset about that.
Right.
But
I'm not going to be surprised if Natasha's sister took her place and that's who died on that Red Skull planet.
Would that have worked though?
Think about it. Well, I mean, yeah, depending on Switch.
You got to give up someone you love. So I mean,
and Hawkeye could have grown to love the person that was impersonating Natasha at that point.
I suppose
it would still be Natasha, but she could probably have that nano veil on her face to look like Natasha. Just thought.
Okay.
That'd be some comic book bullshit right there.
Oh yeah, but really, that's what I'm here for. I'm here for comic book bullshit. I'm not here for
it would be that like Nick Fury droid type of thing.
Yeah. I am not here for Neil deGrasse Tyson level reality. That is not what I'm here for.
That is not what we use escapism for. And
no, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Like I wasn't saying it was a bad thing. I'm just saying that'd be some real comic book level bullshit.
The only thing I'm going to get pissed off about is when Uncle Ben walks onto the screen. That's the only thing I'm going to be pissed off about. All right? Bucky's already fucked things up and came back. Uncle Ben can stay dead.
Nobody stays dead except Bucky and Ben, and then Bucky came back.
Thanks, Brubaker.
So Black Widow, we got Black Widow, and I'm gonna bring in the shows to this too. I'm counting the shows as these phases. So we're gonna have Falcon and Winter Soldier, which I believe, since they're saying that there's going to be so much intermixing between the TV shows and the movies. You ready? Taskmaster shows up in Falcon and Winter Soldier to train the new Captain America.
Okay.
Ooh, as a good guy.
Well, I mean, as a government stooge.
As Taskmaster.
Gotcha.
Yeah, Taskmaster is a mercenary. If he gets paid to do it, he's going to do it.
Fair.
If S.H.I.E.L.D. came to the original Taskmaster and was like, hey, we're going to give you all this money to do this, you're like, all right.
Yeah, I get it.
Who was actually, come to find out, has been a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, kind of, this whole time. It's a little weird. Anyways.
We'll see.
So yeah, Falcon and Winter Soldier. Ray, would you like to boner all over that, or?
Oh yeah, no, I'm ready. I'm like
ready.
The actual only reason that I got Disney Plus, I've been using it to watch Star Wars this whole time, but the only reason I got it really is so that I can watch that and Loki.
Oh my god, we'll get to Loki. That's gonna be fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Fuck. That being said,
so the next movie would be The Eternals after Black Widow.
Actually, the next one is going to be WandaVision.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Yeah, the order on these is so messed up. So next one's going to be WandaVision, which, I mean, we've already kind of talked about. You know, it's going to be a fucked up look into a bit of a multiverse, I'm assuming. Wanda using her powers to bring back Vision, verified.
Mm-hmm.
Wanda bringing in probably Pietro, and bringing in my two favorite characters from the Young Avengers, be Wiccan and Speed.
He is.
So, again, unconfirmed, but confirmed. But there's also going to be, you know, Monica Rambeau is going to show up in that. There's going to be a couple other people that I know are showing up in that. I don't have a cast list on me right now, or I'd pull it up. But there's no set date for it yet, but they're talking Loki is going to be early 2021.
Right. Yeah.
Now, all of these could be moved back because of, you know,
the crisis.
Yeah, the crisis. Ooh, that's a good one. Let's stick with that. We should call it something different per podcast that relates to. So we're gonna go with the Eternals next.
Yeah, because that one's February of 2021.
So tell me a little bit about the Eternals, because I know nothing.
I mean, can we though? I mean, it's a Jack Kirby creation. So they're a race of immortal beings that were made by the Celestials, and you know what the Celestials are? They're what's his name? Ego. Ego is on the Celestial.
Okay.
The head floating around in space, that was a Celestial.
Nowhere.
Yeah, that's a dead Celestial.
Right. The thing that drops the staff and destroys that whole planet.
Mm-hmm.
That's a Celestial. They made the Eternals. And also, did the Eternals make the mutants, or the descendants of the Eternals make the mutants? Anyways, something along those lines. So, anyways, this movie is going to be about the Eternals that are on Earth and their trip through time. Also, the Black Knight is there. I'm pretty sure I think I summed that up pretty good.
Okay.
But that's going to be a lot of stuff that's also, I think, is going to help spark the mute insurgency. Then after that, it's going to be Loki, I'm sure, at some point. Mid-2021. What If? I'm excited about that because I used to get the What If comics. So
yeah,
it won't really affect anything as far as the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
No, yeah, so we can just kind of skip over that. It's going to be a fun breather, I think. It's everything's a little tense. Let's just go ahead and take a breath. So I guess the next one, May 2021, is going to be Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. I'm here for that.
I am as well. Yeah.
Shang-Chi, I think that they're going to use a lot of stuff in that. They're going to mix a lot of stuff up in that. I bet they're going to use a lot of Iron Fist lore. I think they're going to use a lot of Shang-Chi's father was originally Fu Manchu.
Mm-hmm.
But they're going to make him the Mandarin now because they're the same picture.
Oh.
Okay. They're two horrifyingly stereotypical Asian stereotypes. And they both, at least one of them is named after their mustache. So, and that's going to be a big deal. I don't know how much they're going to go into the rings, or I don't know if you're familiar with the rings.
Mm-mm.
But essentially, the rings were the original Infinity Gems.
Oh, okay.
They're 10 rings from an alien race that can do different things.
Yeah.
So when you have the 10 rings on, you're fucking crazy. So not literally crazy, but you're over like pretty powerful.
Pretty much.
All right. So the next one. Oh wow! It looks like we're done for TV shows for 2021.
Right.
The next movie after that will be July again. Depending.
We'll see.
Untitled Spider-Man Far From Home sequel.
Nice.
So yeah,
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man on the run. I'm pretty excited to see that. They're probably going to hire Craven to track his ass down. That'd be great.
You think that whole reveal at the end of Far From Home is going to have Craven hunting down Peter Parker? I
think that they're going to use some old storylines, and they're going to have J. Jonah Jameson hiring Craven the Hunter to track down Spider-Man. And it's probably going to be like a big reality TV show kind of thing.
Mm.
That they did that in the Ultimate Comics. It was pretty good.
Right.
Expectations? Anything?
I mean,
it lays it out pretty easily.
Yeah.
I think you summed it up right there.
Yeah.
That's gonna be great. Okay, well then
we'll definitely see a new suit, and I think they bring in a new suit pretty much every movie.
Oh yeah, well they have to sell toys.
Yeah, I think whatever suit we see might be really cool.
Yeah, I'm interested to see.
I'll get whatever Funko Pop figure comes out because of it.
That's what you do. I'm interested to see if they're going to bring in any kind of ally cameos.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Like Iceman?
Daredevil.
Okay, yeah.
Because someone needs a lawyer.
Guild Train approves.
Hopping on the Guild Train. But I think we're either going to see Daredevil or we're going to see She-Hulk.
Yeah. Well, and there's supposed to be a She-Hulk TV series, isn't there?
Sir. Yes, sir. It's going to be, looks like 2022.
Okay.
Oh my God. Okay, let's just hop on the TV shows here real quick.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Right, they have slated for 2022. You ready? Hawkeye, Miss Marvel, Moon Knight, She-Hulk. All of these TV shows are going to be released in 2022.
It's going to be like Kate Bishop Hawkeye, though, right?
Well, both. Jeremy Renner's going to be in it, and he's going to be training Kate Bishop.
Okay.
Bishop. I'm a wrestling fan. Leave me alone. But that also leads into the other interesting thing. He's training Kate Bishop to be the new Hawkeye. Miss Marvel is showing up in the new TV show. Wiccan and Speed are showing up in WandaVision. The grandfather of the Patriot is going to be in the Falcon and Winter Soldier. All of these characters are converging for Young Avengers.
And in Loki, at the end of it, he becomes young Loki.
They're talking about it.
I know. I know.
Mm-hmm. And it may not even be that Loki that turns into young Loki. It may be Ray, you ready? What if they do like a kind of like a fucked up kind of storyline mashup and make it so that it's like Iron Lad, except instead of Iron Lad, it's Loki. It's really a young Loki from back in time that comes forward in time and joins Young Avengers. And he's like,
so down.
Huh?
And has no, but I'd be so down, but only if he has an obsession with breakfast meats.
Okay, that's fair.
Bacon.
So that covers all the TV shows. Unless anybody wanted to touch on one of those, there's really not much said about any of them.
And like once again, this is just my comic book ignorance. How does She-Hulk fit into this whole thing? Like, so Bruce Banner gets his powers because he's tampering with like gamma rays and stuff like that.
Right. You want me to break it down for you real easy?
Yeah.
She gets it through bodily fluid transmission from her cousin.
That sounds bad.
Oh, it does sound bad. It does sound bad. Blood transfusion from her cousin.
Okay.
Yeah, it sounded bad initially.
Yeah.
That's how they'll do it here?
Oh, yeah. I'm betting she's going to get shot and or something along the... Oh, or she could be, like, horribly sick. I bet they might go the horribly sick route. And he's going to come in and be like, oh, she needs a blood transfusion. And I don't know. It's going to have to be like, like I know that my blood it has these curative properties, so I'm going to...
You can't know that because in the Phase 1 Hulk movie, they established that it'll make people sick.
Do they?
Yeah,
that's true. In the Ed Norton one, the Stan Lee cameo was him drinking a little bit of Hulk's blood.
And he gets, like, super sick.
Oh, that's right. I remember.
Which actually, let me take a moment to hear. Do you guys think if Ed Norton had stayed in, that he would have did as good a job as Mark Ruffalo, or do I think we dodged a bullet?
I think he would have, but I mean, I do respect your opinion, and I can see where you're coming from. The only reason why he wouldn't have done good is because he's a fucking prick.
Yeah, and
actor-wise, he would have done great. He's a great actor. But he's a fucking prick that wanted more creative control, and they weren't going to give it to him because they're Disney, and they know what the fuck they're doing. I hate to say this, but this isn't about individual art. It has to be about people giving up control to meet a vision.
Mm-hmm.
And that vision is our vision, the fans' vision. They have to give up creative control to meet our vision, or it's not going to do well. Sorry.
Right.
But yeah, no, I completely agree with Ray, though. I know exactly where he was going with that. And yeah, he's a fucking prick.
Plus, like...
We definitely wouldn't have the cool, fun things that we get with the Avengers now, where like they do like an Avengers version of Family Feud on some talk show.
Yeah.
And Ed Norton wouldn't have been there for that.
He would have been down for that. Yeah, no.
I will say this. Mark Ruffalo was definitely not someone I was looking forward to playing Hulk. But I think that Mark Ruffalo made me endeared to his version.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't even like, I think that he still looks like a good Bruce Banner. Because he doesn't. Not to me. You know what he looks like? He looks like a David Banner from the TV show.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah, but no, he does fine. I like him. He made me fall in love with him, so that's good.
He forced you to fall in love with him.
He forced his love on me.
Oof.
I am going to be the new She-Hulk.
Oh no!
Announcement.
We've circled around to the scene of Thor being uncomfortable.
All right. TV shows taken care of. There's really not much said about the TV shows. I mean, we can only speculate. So the next movie is going to be Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which I don't think I've ever been more hyped for a movie before in my life.
Oh wow!
Really?
Yes.
That's something.
I am hyped for this fucking movie only because of all the implications that come with it.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Raimi is directing it,
Yep.
which means that Bruce Campbell's going to be in it, which means that his car is probably going to show up in it somewhere, and maybe Ted Raimi, and anything with Ted Raimi in it, I will watch.
And
But
you've
yeah.
already said we'll most likely see some Marvel zombies, which will be Deadites.
Scarlet Witch is supposed to be in it.
Yes. So I think
So-
she's going to be the main antagonist, actually.
Okay.
And then at the very end of it, she's going to bring in mutants. I can almost guarantee that.
And it does say, based on what I'm seeing, that it's supposed to tie in pretty closely to Loki as well. So
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I could see that. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if in the Loki TV show, we don't see him pop into that movie at some point.
Oh, sure.
You know
Well,
what I
and the head writer for the Loki series is the one who rewrote the script for Multiverse of Madness.
Oh, really?
So yeah.
Oh, there you go. There it is.
Oh, shit. That's awesome.
Yeah, once more we have something showing that they are going to be tying the TV shows in much tighter with the movies.
Right. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're all about it. That's what they've even said. You need to watch the movies to understand things that happen in the. You need to watch the shows to understand some things that happen in the movies.
Which was what I was expecting when they started coming out with the Netflix shows.
Well, even Agents of Shield.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it kind of felt like they were interconnected because after The Dark World came out, they had that episode that was them doing the cleanup in...
Yeah.
There were a couple of things, but the Winter Soldier happened and everything else just...
People told me that I would need to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. before I went and saw Winter Soldier, and I didn't. And I realized I didn't need to.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what they were telling everybody, though, is that you were going to need to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to really get into.
It felt, to me at least, it felt kind of like that thing that they do with comics where they tie everything so tightly together that you have to buy 8 titles in order to know what the hell's going on.
Mm-hmm.
It felt a lot like that, except they were just telling you that it was important and then it wasn't.
Oh, sad.
But this time we think it probably will be important.
Yeah. I mean, even just judging from what I'm hearing, it's going to be all very interconnected. Well, I mean, they're saying that the WandaVision leads right into Multiverse of Madness. Leads right into it. So
if they do it well, then I'm excited for that. When I was told that I'd need to watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. in order to enjoy, Winter Soldier and all that, like I was not excited about it. But like if they do it right, excited to see all those shows and all those movies interwoven.
I mean, I'm going to be honest. I was watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. not because of that. And I think it was shortly after the Winter Soldier came out that I decided to stop watching it.
We know why you were watching it. It's why we were all watching it, and it was Fitzsimmons. Okay, that's it. The only reason why any of us were watching that anymore.
Okay.
Thank you for having the heart to not not correct me. It was very nice of you.
Okay.
Come on, they were cute.
They were cute. They were cute from the, what was it, item 47? Was that the short that they were?
Oh, yeah. It was something. Yeah.
Something like that. But yeah, again, I miss those things. I miss the shorts.
Yeah, they need to do more.
I want more Agent Carter too.
That was it was a good show.
It was.
Also, the Agent Carter TV show, responsible for the one character that made the transition from TV show to movie.
Yep.
Jarvis.
Yep.
That was so cool that they did that for him too. I mean, I would like to think that he made that transition because he's friends with maybe the producer or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
It's still cool. Cool. I liked him so much in that show. Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness. So after that is one that I'm pretty sure we're all fucking hyped about too. It's Thor: Love and Thunder.
Uh-huh.
Hell yeah.
If I want this movie to come out because if I have to hear another YouTube personality talk about Gore the God Butcher, I'm going to lose my fucking mind. In fact, at this point, I hope that Gore the God Butcher is in there just so that everybody will just shut the fuck up. Let's just announce it, and then we'll be good. But everybody is just hard.
So I'm going to be honest. I've been actively avoiding everybody's talk about the new, like what they've announced for the new stuff. Just because I feel like I got way too on top of all of the weird announcements and theories and shit that people were talking about for Endgame and Infinity War. And it kind of broke my brain. Like, I wish that I could say that those movies didn't give me anxiety, but they did.
Oh my gosh, yes.
So I've been kind of trying to stay away from that. So this is news to me.
Gore the God Butcher is what everybody's thinking. Is I hope I don't.
I'm kind of actually hoping, because they've said the Guardians of the Galaxy are going to be like involved,
at least in the beginning.
So I'm kind of hoping that it leads in with Guardians of the Galaxy stuff.
Even though I think, they're not even slated for Phase 4.
Yeah, no, they are not slated.
So the only thing we're going to see out of the Guardians will be
Thor: Love and Thunder.
Yeah. But yeah, so they're talking possible Hulk cameo too, because he had such a huge impact on the other Thor movie. They're talking, obviously Loki coming back for it. Lady Thor, or Jane Thor.
Yes. Yeah.
They're also, I've seen people even talking about the possible Thor cores.
Okay.
Beta Ray Bill. I know Christian Bale's involved, and I think that Tessa Thompson, in one of her, what are those called? Interviews? In one of her interviews, talked about Christian Bale being hired on to be the main villain. So
interesting. Okay. Also, Valkyrie. I'm so down.
Yeah. Oh yeah, she's awesome. I think I can't remember their names. The bug guy and the rock guy.
Korg and
Meek.
Ooh, yeah. Yeah, they're going to be a huge part again, obviously too.
Gotta be.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited to see that.
And it's also supposed to be directed by Taika Waititi, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Wait, which is why Korg and Meek will be in it, because he is Korg.
Yeah.
Right. But also, it'd be cool if we got a little Deadpool cameo in that.
That'd be a good place for it.
As Noob Master 69.
Yeah.
Excellent spot for it.
Wow. That's so in character, though. It's beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think they were even originally talking about how that could be Loki being Noob Master 69.
Yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah.
So, Thor: Love and Thunder, we're pretty hyped for. Also, it's the one I've heard the most about. The two movies that I have heard nothing about, even casting, Black Panther 2 and Captain Marvel sequel. They're slated for May 6th and July 8th, respectively.
Are they?
Yep. 2022. Again.
The crisis.
The crisis, depending. So, yeah, I got nothing. I don't even know what to expect from that. I'm hoping for Namor.
Okay.
In Black Panther 2. I'm hoping for Doctor Doom in Black Panther 2.
Ooh.
I'm hoping Doctor Doom at all.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, he has to happen. Well, with Fantastic Four rumored to be coming out here very soon, I think that they should introduce Doctor Doom first.
Do you think maybe they won't do Doctor Doom as a villain necessarily? Maybe there's just some political stuff going on between Latveria?
I think that he is going to be a dictator first. He is going to be looking out for his country first. And he is going to go about taking care of his country in ruthless ways. Like, he is going to see vibranium. Like, this is my thought, but he's going to see vibranium as a viable
energy source or something.
Yeah, and he's going to invade.
You think Doctor Doom's armor will be vibranium?
Ooh.
I think that at first, no. I think, though, that will be his goal, and I think that he will achieve his goal of vibranium armor.
Do you think that he will speak in third person?
I believe that he may have a questionable hold on the English language, and he may have to speak in the third person. I've got high expectations for Black Panther 2. Black Panther changed things.
Oh yeah,
changed things, and I think it's going to change things again. And I think the best way for it to change things is going to be introducing a new villain in the form of Doom.
Okay.
So what's our next giant crisis? So like Thanos was our giant crisis for phases 1 through 3. Like, I think, so is Galactus the next giant crisis?
So here's the deal. I keep hearing that they are going to do 2 storylines.
Mm-hmm.
One is going to be a galactic space-based storyline. And one is going to be more of an Earth-based storyline. And each storyline is going to have its own villain.
Okay.
The big theories I've seen, and the ones I agree with the most, Galactus being the galactic threat,
mm-hmm.
Doctor Doom being the more Earthbound threat. And I think that as Galactus looms closer to Earth, everything's going to merge, and Doom is going to help fight against Galactus.
Okay. And then, like, Battleworld happens, right? Because at that point, we've established the multiverses, and we've established Doom.
Yeah, that would be great. And I think that maybe even ultimately, you may be right in that respect. I think that may actually be the main villain, is the Beyonder.
Okay.
Making Battleworld, because even in the original Secret Wars, Galactus was even sucked into that.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that maybe we're all going to get built up to think, oh, we're going to fight Doctor Doom. Oh, we're going to fight Galactus. And then all of a sudden Beyonder's going to come up and like, oh, what? That's what's going to happen. And then they're going to put all these Battleworld things together. They're going to take all of their different worlds that they have, including like the Fox worlds that they got. They may even mix the Sony worlds in. And even for like a big thing like that, they could even be like, Sony, let us use all your characters. Mm-hmm. We'll just give you all this money, but just let us use all your characters.
Just buckets of money.
Yeah, just here.
All of the buckets are shaped like mouse heads.
And then at the end of that, they can say, well, this is what's going to happen. We're going to smash all these together, and then we're going to throw these away. And that'll explain, there goes the Sonyverse. Oh, there goes.
Somehow we're caught up with all new, all different.
Yep. It's going to be a mess. It's definitely going to be a mess, but I think we're going to be fucking here for the mess.
Leading up to that, we're definitely going to get some Avengers versus X-Men action, right?
I mean, we certainly hope so.
Because like the mutants come in and maybe they're not understood at first. Everybody thinks they're villains. We see some Avengers versus X-Men action. Everybody realizes that they are good guys. You know what I mean? Kind of like a little bit of a Civil War action, and then
I think that definitely one of the phases should be a Avengers versus X-Men. And I think that how it should be is Rogue comes along, steals Captain Marvel's powers. The Avengers try to track her down, and she runs, but finds this hidden school that no one's seen before. And it's just a school full of mutants. And, they tromp up and they're like, hey, give us her because she did this. And they're like, oh, no, she's a mutant. We're going to take care of her. And they're like, oh, well, we're going to versus you. And,
and then it's a big melee.
Right. They pull out their swords and they start fighting.
Yeah.
As they do.
And at the end of it, somebody will be like, wait, but we're actually all friends. Yeah.
Right. And that will probably be Colossus, because that's the shit that he would pull.
It is the shit that he would pull. 100%.
So wait, aren't you dating a 14-year-old?
Oof.
I'm sorry. Too soon? Yeah, way too soon, Colossus. Way too soon.
At minimum 4 years too soon.
Term of the presidency too soon.
Oh my god. But I mean, okay, so do you think that when the Marvel gets its hands and starts doing stuff with the mutants, that they're going to bring in the power levels of the mutants?
I don't think they're going to talk about the Omega power mutants or anything. I don't think they're going to talk about that right away.
Okay.
They may talk about that shit in X-Men movies.
Right.
But they're not, they're not going to, because I think that they're going to start introducing the mutants one by one. They're going to introduce the mutants first, and then they're going to do a combined, all right, let's drag all these mutants that we've put into these movies and smash them all into one big movie, and we're going to call it the X-Men. We're going to need a bald guy to come in here and wrangle them, or he's going to be Professor X-Men Wrangler. And they're going to be like, no, that's not his name. It's actually Xavier. And I was like, oh, I like mine better because I'm Kevin Feige. And I'm sorry.
Sensing some strong feelings here.
No, Kevin Feige knows what he's doing. I'm not going to fucking rag on him. He does know what he's doing. He's gotten the MCU where it is. And he's been working with the MCU for so fucking long. Mm-hmm. Like way longer than it seems. Like I think he was even with the original X-Men movies.
Oh.
Yeah. Like I think he was a producer of those. Yeah, he's a beast. I mean, he's in a good position right now, I think. I think they're even thinking about giving him aren't they thinking about giving him the Star Wars?
Are they?
I thought I'd heard that.
Yeah.
I had not heard that. But I also...
My brain likes to make stuff up, though. So that
yeah, he was the associate producer of the original X-Men movie.
Oh wow! Okay.
Wow.
He was the associate producer of the original Spider-Man movie.
Oh.
He was the co-producer of Daredevil and X2.
Okay, so he really, really wanted his hands on Marvel at all times.
At all times. Executive producer of The Hulk, The Punisher, Spider-Man 2.
Oh, wow.
Even when it wasn't great,
Ray.
he wanted his hands on it.
Yes.
There was a Man-Thing movie.
Yeah, there was. It
He
was
the
garbage.
He was the executive producer of that too.
It wasn't good, but there was a Man-Thing movie, and I do own it.
Wow. Yeah, he's been beasting through these.
I used to have Man-Thing art. I wonder what happened to it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yep.
If you ask nicely, Baron will send you his Man-Thing art.
It's true. That offer applies to everybody, whether they ask or not. Have you seen that little comic strip kind of meme thing where, like, someone tells Steve that people are not wanting to vaccinate or some shit like that? And
yes.
he goes the fuck off.
He goes off.
You guys ever seen polio before?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no.
I love the little fan comics that come out of it. Like, I think my favorite one is like Thor on Mr. Rogers' roof.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that one's good.
Oh, and the Avengers texting each other memes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
When he kidnapped all the kids on Halloween.
Have you guys seen the comic strip that's Bucky and the Punisher having movie nights?
Yes.
I have
Those
not.
are great too.
Those are good. I think you introduced me to those.
Probably. I will introduce anyone to those that will listen.
And why?
Because of Bucky.
Have you seen the headcanon that the Guardians of the Galaxy are just the Avengers playing
yes.
a D&D
yes.
campaign?
And Bucky was the only one that actually took like time and effort into his character, and he's just
wasn't he Rocket?
He was the one who was trolling.
Oh yeah, he was the one that was trolling, and it was Rocket. Natasha was the only one that put effort into her character. Yeah.
And let's see, Bucky was the one who decided to be the genetically enhanced raccoon, and like Banner didn't want to really participate, so Bucky wrote up Banner's character sheet and made him Groot. So
and anytime that they ask him
what he did, he just said, "I am Groot." Bucky
I think the problem is I've seen two of those. I've seen one of them where Steve is playing Rocket and Bucky is DMing.
Oh, okay.
And because Steve's a little shit like that.
That might be it. It might actually be that Bucky was DMing and that Steve was the one who decided to be Rocket and was controlling Banner's character. And Thor was essentially Drax because they made his character pretty simple, easy to remember characteristics.
Right.
Natasha put a bunch of work into her character, so we get Gamora. And Tony was playing Star-Lord because that's just like,
because he's Tony Stark. Nobody calls him that. But yeah, I like there's some content for that's just so good.
Oh yeah.
Like these headcanons are not only accepted, they're just law now. Like
Well, that's what a guild decree's for.
Yeah, I already used mine. Okay.
I already used mine.
Guild decree, Thor totally met Mr. Rogers and put a lightning rod on his roof and learned valuable lessons from Mr. Rogers.
I back that 100%.
Yeah.
That since that's my favorite one, I'm gonna guild decree that one into existence.
Aw. Can't wait for the future of the MCU. Honestly, that's I mean, I love the MCU and I cannot wait to see.
Haven't missed a movie yet. I've seen every single one of them in the theater.
Mm-hmm.
I have not. I wish that I could say that I have seen every single one of them in the theater, but I have not.
Once Lilith was old enough to go see movies in the theater, we have not missed one.
Okay.
That makes sense.
See, I was doing really well for a little while there, going and seeing every single one of them, like generally on the days that they came out. And then after Infinity War, I think I was so like psychologically scarred still that when, what was it, Spider-Man that came out? No, it was, what was it that came out?
What was the next one after Infinity War?
Yeah. That was Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Ant-Man, yeah.
Yeah. I did not go and see Ant-Man and the Wasp in the theater. I suck.
That's fair.
It was so good.
We were all waiting for it to happen too. When Ant-Man and the Wasp, we all saw the Infinity War and we were all waiting for it. We were like, it's going to be at the end of the movie, the post-credit scene is something like they're going to get snapped. Like it's going to happen. Like there was a lot of anxiety going into that movie. I can understand that.
Yeah. I was just still a little beaten down and so didn't go and see it.
I've been fortunate to have a good group of people since I've moved to, well, I wouldn't say since I moved to Tennessee. Since I started my new job here in Tennessee, I've met a good group of people who all go on opening day and they make it a whole event. I get to go and see my friends and watch the whole new movie. And the fact that the only movies I go and see are Marvel movies and Star Wars movies makes it easy to make sure that I go and see them.
Yeah, no, I don't have anybody like that here. So.
Just make a trip to Tennessee and you can come watch it with us.
It's a really long way away, I feel. I feel like maybe no.
Maybe
to via plane, you're fine.
Oh well. But eventually we'll get there again, I suppose. I've still got a tab pulled up that is all of Joss Whedon's films.
And you didn't find anything good in the last 8 years, I assume?
No, not a bit. Not a bit.
Not a bit.
So
sorry, Josh.
I mean, I'm not.
He didn't age well as a feminist, I guess, and that upset me.
No, he did not.
Like, I think the nail in the coffin for me was when Banner didn't protest Natasha calling herself a monster for not being able to spawn children.
Oh yeah.
That's
that was the nail in the coffin for me. I was like, cool, can remove my allegiance now.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Because it felt out of character for everyone involved.
Everyone involved.
Yeah. That's one of those moments where everything just came to an awkward stop because that did nothing about that moment felt right.
That even kind of disappoints me in Mark Ruffalo. That just seems like a point where you go, now wait a minute.
Yeah. Okay. So sorry. Just that's one that I have really strong feelings about.
No, that's good. I mean, anything you have strong feelings about the MCU needs to come out in this cast.
Maybe not.
So I'm not looking forward. I don't envy Rick in his challenge of editing this podcast.
Oh, yeah, no.
I know there's going to be a lot of dead air. I'm guessing about 45 minutes of dead air, but I also know that there's going to be so much side conversation that he's going to have to.
And then side conversation that I have made it where he can't edit out.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how much side conversation I'm just leaving in. Because fuck it, it's our podcast. If you want to listen to us talk about things that aren't off topic, then
fuck it. This is all going in too. Fuck them.
Fuck them.
But yeah, so I love the MCU. I really do. It was kind of the first fandom that I really grabbed onto. Because I mean, I was into stuff previous to that, but with the MCU, it was like it made me want to go and read the comics. And I'd read a couple of the comics previously because, like, I think the first comic book just on its own I ever read was one from the original Dark Phoenix series, that it was like a weird placeholder of Kitty telling Colossus's little sister a bedtime story.
Oh,
Like, that was the first comic I ever read, just across the board.
that's just funny to think about, considering who his little sister is.
Yeah. But so getting suddenly the want to go and read like all the things was, one, very overwhelming, but two, kind of opened me up to the type of fandom that I am inclined to and how I am inclined to respond to that fandom.
That's fair.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you on the cast, Ray.
Oh, thanks. I appreciate being invited onto the cast.
Hey, that's what we do for our guild members. We need our guild members to get their legs on these guilds so that they can go and spread the word of the guild.
Get their legs on these guilds?
I meant get their legs on these podcasts so that
he said what he.
I know what I said.
He stands by it.
I outrank you. Wait.
Count Baron King. Oh shit.
He's King guild member? I don't get it.
I'm king of a visiting guild, I guess. Like, you still acknowledge that I'm important, but I'm not that important here.
I think what this means is we are guild masters, but you are king of the guild members.
Ah, okay, I'll take it.
So you must just with that, you just must be the highest ranking guild member.
I'll take it. That bitch is mine now. Dibsies.
So, Ray, if a listener is listening to this cast and they want to find you somewhere else on the internet, is there anything else they can find you doing on the internet?
Yeah, I occasionally stream video games that I'm not very good at, which I'm Lord X Silver on Mixer when I stream.
We'll have a link in the description.
Yeah, I am also part of the Casters Guild D&D side quest that we're doing right now. So,
which we usually will be up on Sundays. So come and check us out.
Yeah, you don't want to put up like your personal Facebook or your phone number or anything.
I mean, I'm all right.
Right at.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I'm the only Ray Silvertongue on most social media. So.
I know. I kind of have that same problem. That I am also the only Ray Silvertongue on all.
I do not have that problem. If you go and search Rick or Richard Perry on howmanyofme.com, it's a ridiculous amount. So.
All right, well, so that's about it with the extensive podcast of MCU as it has been going on for the past 10 years and probably will be going on for the next 180 years because there's never going to be a lack of content for this. I had a lot of fun. I'm assuming everybody else did, and I can't wait to do this again in another 10 years.
10 years from now, look out for MCU Podcast Volume 2.
Right.
Oh, God.
All right. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Adios.
Bye. Opposite of Ola.